Hello there, thank you so much for clicking on my video. My name is Patrick God. Yes, it is really my last name. I know some of you were asking if it is, but it really is G-O-D, God. Yes, this is my last name. But anyways, today we are going to send emails with .NET 6, with the .NET 6 web API, and that's essentially already it, right? So we are going to create a web API, a project with .NET 6, and the only thing we want to do there is send an email, and we will use the NuGet package Mailkit for that, because even Microsoft is saying that, guys, please don't use our SMTP implementations, use Mailkit, that's better. And it really is. It is really easy and simple to do that. So I would say, before we start, if you like this video and learned something, I would really appreciate it if you click the like button and maybe even subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon here, because then you get a notification when a new tutorial is online. Additionally, maybe you want to subscribe to my newsletter for these videos here earlier in your inbox, and also access to upcoming online courses like the .NET Web Developer Bootcamp, where we cover the backend with the Web API, Entity Framework Core, a database of course, and also the front end with Blazor Web Assembly, and also some stuff like Git and Agile web development, so Scrum a little bit, maybe DevOps, stuff like that. If you're interested in this, then maybe the newsletter is something for you. Thank you very much for considering. And the last thing, as always, thank you so much for all your support, guys. Toddler is asleep. I'm making these videos, and it's only done with coffee. This is the spirit, but okay, I gotta be honest, sometimes it's even tea. Yes, sometimes you can stay awake with tea, like today. This is tea. Okay, so now I think I'm done. Let's send an email now with the web API in .NET 6. Enjoy the tutorial. All right, here we are, Visual Studio 2022. The first thing we have to do is, well, create a new project, I guess. We want to use an ASP.NET Core Web API. Of course, you can also already use a Blazor WebAssembly app and use your email service with that. But let's keep it simple here, and we call this simple email app. Great name. .NET 6 it is. We leave everything as it is as well and hit create. And then the very next step, when the project has been created, is installing a NuGet package, and that would be Mailkit, right? Because this is the way to go. Even Microsoft suggests to use Mailkit. So right click your project, manage NuGet packages. We go to browse, and then we have a look. Mailkit it is, and that's the one. 41 million downloads so far. It's not Netcore Mailkit, it's not ABP Mailkit, not that stuff here. Simply Mailkit by Jeffrey Steadfast, an open source .NET mail client library for Windows, Mac, Linux, and mobile platforms such as iOS and Android. So please install this thing. And then click, okay, and it should be here. All right, so let's have a quick look. Yep, Mailkit is installed. And that's in essence everything you need, right? So now let's already create a controller, real quick and dirty. And we call this thing, it's an empty API controller. Make sure to use the empty API controller, not an MVC controller or anything like that. And then let's call this email controller. And the thing is, what we want to use now is Ethereal. And if you don't know what that is, ethereal.email, it is here. This is a test SMTP service. As you can see here, a fake SMTP service. And well, we can create this to test our email service now. So let's just create an Ethereal account, for instance. And now we've got Elijah Kwitzen. So that's the account we can use now. Great, so let's do that, I would say. And before we can do that, first, let's create a method. So for instance, we just create a post method with the request method post. And as an argument, we use the body. So we hard code the recipient and the sender and the subject, but the body should come as an argument. Again, this is the first quick and dirty way to do this. And I think for most of you, this is already sufficient. And then you know how to implement your email service. So this is a public action result method. We call this send email, for instance. And again, we add the body here as an argument. And now the first thing here is our actual email. And this is a new MIME message, and you already saw the namespace. So with control period now, we try to add using Mailkit. So this is the namespace we need. Maybe we can close this here. All right, nice. And now the next thing, in essence, we just have to add some parameters here from add mailbox address. And then we parse, and now we need the email address from Ethereal. That's the one. Okay, we go back, copy this here, and then to, let's just send it back. I would say email to, and then again, add a mailbox address. Parse this. All right, this looks good. Then the subject, so email subject would be test email subject, and then the body, so email body, and here we say new text part. Text format is HTML in our case. Text format. And let me just add the using Mailkit text. So this reference here. And this is important now, just a short note. We can use HTML or plain text, for instance, or rich text, whatever you want. I think HTML is okay. And in that case, you can use your HTML text for a header, for instance, or whatever you want to use. And the actual text then is now the body parameter, this argument here for this method. So this is now our email object, and the next part now is to send this thing. So we're using an SMTP client here, SMTP, and this is now very important. Pay attention here. There is an SMTP client, and when we try to use a reference here, it is not system.net.mail. Please use mailkit.net.smtp. Even Microsoft says, please use Mailkit and not the old system.net.mail. So mailkit.net.smtp it is. And now we can use SMTP, if you write it properly, connect. And in here now, we need the actual server, and here you can see it, SMTP Ethereal email. All right, so let's just copy this. Now the thing is, if you want to use a real SMTP service like Gmail, for instance, it looks a bit different, of course. So in that case, that would be smtpgmail.com, or you've got Hotmail, that would be smtplive.com, or Office 365. In that case, that would be office365.com. And I'm pretty sure there are lots and lots of others. So please look these up if you want to use something else. But now after that, we've got the port. Again, when we have a quick look, see the port here. So 587 it is. And now here we are using secure socket options, add the reference again, and then start TLS. As it says here, elevates the connection to use TLS encryption immediately after reading the greeting and capabilities of the server. If the server does not support the start TLS extension, then the connection will fail and the not supported exception will be thrown. Okay, so that's the connect method. Then authentication. SMTP authenticate, Now this is the username and the password. So in this case, this is our username and the password is this thing here. All right. And now we can already send our email object and also disconnect. And yes, we set this to true. All right. And in the end, we simply return. Okay. So that's actually everything. And I would say we test this already. So we run our app and can then use Swagger UI to test our email service. There we are. And let me just open Ethereal here and put it there. All right, great. And now we open the mailbox for this account. Now this is the first Ethereal test mail. So this is not sent by us, but now when we add a body here, so try this out and let's just say H1, this is a test, like that. We hit execute. We get an OK back, that's nice. And now let's refresh our mailbox. Hey, there's the email, test email subject. We can go here and also see this HTML email and also the plain text if we want. So this works pretty great, I'd say. Now this might already be enough for you. So in essence, you can stop the video already. But if you, I don't know, use a better practice here, for instance, we can do that as well, of course. So I would say we now create a service for sending this email, maybe also a DTO, data transfer object, where we add in at least the to field, the subject and the body as well. And maybe we can put the username and the password in the app settings, right? So let's do that, I'd say. First, the service. We create a new folder. And I'd like to call this thing services, and then also another folder, which is then the email service. And in here, we create an interface. All right, call this iEmail service, and also an implementation class, which is then the email service using the email service interface. Yep, let's rebuild and deploy, and also let's add this here and register it as a service. Services add scoped email service and we add the using directive, make it global because we need this in our controller as well. And we write another method here, void send email. And now in here, let's also add the DTO. So maybe add another folder, call this models, and then add another class, email DTO, maybe. And this gets 2, which is a string empty. Also a subject, which is also an empty string. And then, of course, the body. All right. Okay, and now let's use it here. Email DTO, we call this request, for instance, like that, using this, and let's put this to our program CS. Okay, save everything. Got an error, where is it? Yeah, that's absolutely true. So we implement this thing here now, and in essence we can copy this, paste it here, And now we say, of course, again, we need all the namespaces, all the references. Again, Mailkit.net SMTP it is. And the last one here. All right, so now 2 comes from our request object. All right, same for the subject. And of course, the actual body. All right, that's one thing. And now we've got the username, the password, and maybe also the host, the SMTP server in essence. So let's add this to the AppSettings JSON file. So down here, we simply add, say, email host, and then email username, and then email password. Okay, and then we copy this. First the host, username, and the last thing now, the password. And now to access this, we need our configuration. So we add a constructor here and inject the I configuration. Call this config maybe, create and assign the field, add an underscore here. And now here we can say config get section, and what's the name? Email host. And from that, we want to get the value. And in essence, we do the same here for the username and the password. So email username it is, and email password. Let's double check username with a capital N. Let's change that. Okay, I think that's bad. So of course you could have also added another section and then nest all the information. So you could call this email config, for instance, like here in the logging section, and then just use the host, the username, and the password name for these strings instead of email host, email username, email password, and so on. This is totally up to you. But I think for this quick way here and just for learning purposes, you get the idea. And let's also add it here. So we've got the from value is then also the username. All right, so this is now our send email method. And the last step now is to change the controller in essence. And here we need another constructor, of course, and inject our email service. So email service, initialize it, add the underscore here as well. And then we just say email service send email with now here the email DTO requests, and here also the requests, and that's it. Okay, we save everything and test this. There we are. Got our email DTO here. And now this looks a bit different. But again, let's just send it to this guy, Elijah Quitzen. That's the password. So that's the email. Great party yesterday, maybe. And the body. I drank way too much. All right. Okay, let's hit execute. All right, 200, okay. Let's open the mailbox, and as we can see, great party yesterday, and I drank way too much and in italic. Great, and that's already it. Let me push this to GitHub real quick. Simple email app it is, not a private repository. Let's make this public, create and push, and then have a look at the video description below to get this repository. And that's it. I hope you now know how to send an email with a .NET 6 Web API. Pretty easy, right? I love it personally, really, and I will consider sending more emails in my projects, in my applications, in particular for error reporting, for instance. So if something is happening that was not expected and an exception is thrown, then maybe we want to send an email, grab some data, and then we can fix this stuff. So for that, I think this is a great opportunity. Also tracking maybe, but depending on the country, it's not really allowed, I guess. But this is a completely different topic. So I hope you learned something. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you click the like button, maybe subscribe to my channel. Don't forget the bell icon to get a notification for a new video. Additionally, again, the newsletter might be something for you for the upcoming .NET Web Developer Bootcamp. And last but not least, thanks so much for the tea or the coffee, whatever it is. I love you guys forever. Thank you so much for your support. And now if you're interested in some other videos on my channel, please have a look here on the side. Then just click on the thumbnail you're interested in and join the next tutorial, and then the next tutorial and the next tutorial. And I think then you know lots and lots of stuff regarding .NET and Blazor maybe. All right, so now thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope I see you next time. Take care.